Hey everyone! I am joined today by Jolly Holiday Yarns, also known as Kat. We met because I watched the Roomy Mill, and also my friend Sonnet was doing the artwork on her advent calendar. So Cindy opened it, and she is a friend of mine. Sonnet did some of the artwork, and she's
We're good.
okay. And she's a friend of mine, so they told me about you, and I messaged you on Instagram, and we talked a little bit. We have some military stuff in common, so that's kind of fun. And yeah, and then I asked her, I was like, hey, next year, you want to hop on the channel with me and talk about your advent calendar? And she said, sure. So I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit to the rest of the world while we are getting people in. I don't want to talk about your advent stuff until we actually have more of a crowd. So go ahead.
No, absolutely. Yeah, so my name is Kathleen. I go by Kat for short. I am just a yarn enthusiast, and it's something that I just kind of fell into on the side, and I just really, I love it, and I love the community that it brings. You know, people like you and Sonnet and Cindy are just amazing, and I find that everywhere. And yeah, that's who I am. My husband's active duty Air Force, so we move every few years, which keeps things fun. Right now we're living in Virginia, and it's us and our two dogs. And I run my own business, which is my 9 to 5, and then do Jolly Holiday in my spare time and on my weekends. So it's kind of a little bit about me.
So how did you get into yarn dyeing? Did you start as a crocheter and a knitter, or?
So I started as a crocheter. Generally used cottons and acrylics, and we moved to Germany, and I got into knitting while we were there. And I just couldn't find the colors that I liked and the colors that I wanted and the bases that I wanted, which I know you've had some of, I don't know if you felt any of my yarn. I'm really picky. And so it's very, very squishy. Even my chunk is just like, it's stuff that you want to hold, because we've all picked up a yarn and been like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually got started. There's a YouTube channel called Knit, and Rebecca teaches dyeing yarn. And she started with Kool-Aid, Gatorade, food coloring, and now she's all the way up through the acid dyes, the professional acid dyes, and you know, still does stuff like that. And so it started in my kitchen. And I have some very ugly yarn that I dyed first. I do. I have some around here that's pretty ugly. And it just kind of started from there. I dyed for myself. I dyed for some friends. And it kind of, as we finished up our tour in Germany, it was like, I think I could make this a business. And that's what happened. I bought all the supplies, and here we are 4 years later.
That's really cool. Okay, so can you tell us like a little bit about the process? I know it's lengthy, but
Yeah.
can you just tell us like the bare bones?
Yeah. So the way that I dye is acid dyeing, and that is all dependent on acid. In my case, I started out using vinegar, and now I use citric acid, like what's in sour candies.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what you do, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can equate it to like dyeing eggs. You can dissolve the little tablet in water and have that dissolve, and you know, pour it over the yarn, heat it, and it will dye. Or you can sprinkle the powder to get all those lovely little dots and different variations. And that's essentially how I do it. I have basically camp stoves with, you know, 2 burners that I set up outside, and put the yarn in, and then you add the color, you add the acid at different times to get different techniques. And yeah, it's really, honestly, it surprised me at how simple it really can be for wool. Cottons and things, as we've talked about, are a little bit harder. They're a little bit different, but for wool, I think you can dye wool with anything. I've dyed it with, I've seen Rebecca do it with the sweethearts you get at Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool.
So I guess I'm curious because, you know, we have such a pest problem in the yarn world.
Yeah.
How does using a food item how is that not a bad thing?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is how the yarn is processed after it is dyed.
Okay.
It is about making sure that if you're using something unconventional, and even if I'm using my acid dyes, I go until the yarn rinses completely clear.
Mhm.
I personally use Dawn dish soap because it's unscented, and we know that there aren't a lot of allergies to it. At least, you know, there are people out there, but it's commercially
Only
available and
just
plain. Yeah, yeah, there will be someone out there, but I find that it works better than wool washes for me, just because it seems to get it out. And if you are using something unconventional like food coloring, I have never done actual food, but I think I would probably wash it a couple of times.
Mm.
I also think the heat, the way that if you do a low immersion dye, so if you have a pan, you fill it with a little bit of water, you put the yarn in, put the color in, then you let it steam that way. I think that would also boil some of it off, but you would still have to wash it quite a bit. And in her videos, she does to make sure that there's no residue. I think that's the only way you
Yeah.
can really make sure it's safe.
We have a thing here. I attempted to dye cotton yarn with Kool-Aid, beet juice, and coffee. I knew not of what I was doing.
Yes. Yeah, been there. I mean, we've just had that. I um, did some digging on the internet, and the internet said dye cotton yarn with soda ash, and you can go this way. And I found two posts from somebody who said they were extremely successful, two very different people, by just upping the acid. And so, me getting excited, I bought a bunch of stock, I dyed it, and I have 6 kinds of cotton yarn that are still bleeding teal. So I feel you. Like I even do it. I get excited and I'm like, I can do this. But you can absolutely dye with all of those things. And you can dye cotton, you can dye wool. I have a cashmere blend. You can dye mohair that way. Like you can get into it with things like Gatorade and highlighters. And if you're interested in dyeing, check out Chemnitz. She has videos on everything. Anything you've ever wanted to dye, if you just wanted to change a color slightly, she has such a great video library on that. So like you're on the right track. Keep going.
Where do you get your blank hanks?
So mine come from a supplier in England. I when I got back to the States, I did a lot of ordering and trying to figure out which wholesaler had the best yarn. Mine comes from Yarn Unbared or Yarn Undyed in England, and then it's comes from a couple of different places. Some come from Italy, some come from Australia, but they have been absolutely amazing, and I have not found a fault with their yarn yet. So,
Oh, yay.
yeah, that's where they come from.
When you were first starting out, where did you even know, like, where to get blank hanks and stuff?
Yeah, so Kenneth's was pivotal in that she used a brand called Knit Picks,
Oh, yes.
and everybody knows Knit Picks. They also do blank yarn. The major company that does the acid dyes, Dharma, also has blank yarn. And so it just becomes a Google search. And what I personally did is I went into my stash and I said, I have a lot of other indie dyers yarn. And so I would say, ooh, this yarn is by so-and-so. I really like this base. Can I find something like this? And then I would compare what I got to that to then figure out, okay, does it need more nylon?
Mm.
Does it need to be like my yarns are now? They're an extra fine merino. So they're super soft. Whereas you can just get a fine merino or just one that isn't labeled that doesn't feel as squishy and like, you know, sometimes wool doesn't feel good on your skin right away. It has to take time, and I don't want to break it in. I want it to feel good after I'm done using it, and I want it to feel good in my hands. So it's a lot of trial and error.
Okay. So how do you mix the fibers then?
So I don't do any of that. All of that is done by the supplier. I get And I would turn the camera around, but because of Advent, it's nuts in here right now. But so what I essentially get is a pack of like 5 of these. So they come in packs of 5, and they're all undyed. They come blended in. I can reach out to the supplier and say, hey, you don't have something in stock. I would love to see it. For example, I know that there have been a lot of people that have wanted a DK Stellina yarn, and they didn't currently carry one. So now they've phased one in. They've done some changes to their Aran weight yarns, things like that. So a lot of it comes from them. I am not a spinner, and I'm attempting to avoid getting into that. Just because I know I've got some hand spun above me that a friend of mine in Germany spun, and it's so much work, and I do not need another hobby.
I think part of the thing is crocheters and knitters and anybody in the fiber world, I think part of our thing is collecting yarn, and then our other thing is collecting hobbies.
Oh, absolutely. There's an entire closet right here that has both of my sewing machines, cross stitch, crochet. I paint. I built a hobbit house for my computer to live in that my PC actually lives in. I quilt. If it's out there, everything but scrapbooking, I just personally can't get into it. Like, I will give it a shot. You just have to give me an in.
Your computer thing sounds like something that Nerdforge would do.
You know, that was who gave me the idea. I watched her do like her tavern computer, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. And then I started to do it, and I put out the paper. I taped it all together, and I was like, straight lines are hard. What can I do that's smooth? And so I did a hobbit house. It came together really quickly once I did that. And yeah, I blame Martina for all of that. I will be honest.
Hey everyone. Okay. I have my notebook because, like I said, it's been a crazy morning. Okay. So we have about 15 people. So how did you come up with this idea for such a unique and creative Advent calendar? And how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so the Choose Your Own Adventure Advent calendars, just like, it's one of those things that you think about and you write down, and then you walk away from, and it kind of lives in your brain. I had gotten into the higher end yarn world while I was in Germany, while I was knitting and making, clothes and things, and not things that had to be, indestructible to a baby, which acrylic absolutely is amazing for stuff like that. If it needs to be washed, give it acrylic. And I got a couple of Advents, and I was really disappointed. It felt like they had gone to now we were in Germany, but it felt like they'd gone to the German grocery store and bought stuff off the shelf. And it felt like some of the yarn was a throwaway. And I was really disappointed. And then I got one that somebody had put a substantial amount of effort into. And I was like, man, you could go all out with these things. And so it was always in the back of my head as I decided to open the business that I wanted to do Advents. So it was the first thing that we had done. And I think I did 30 of them my first year, 30 or 40. And it was very basic. There were, a lot of it were just fun little gifts that I liked. It wasn't book themed at that point. It was very straight yarn Advent. And as I got into doing colors the next year, I struggled. What's a theme? Where am I going to get these themes from? The first theme was a celebration of the 4 seasons. And so it flowed through blues and greens and all of that. And I struck upon the idea of the books. And so the next year we did just books. It was all based on books. The gifts are all book themed. They go back to the books. So, for example, last year, one of the books was Legends and Lattes, and the final Choose Your Own Adventure was you picked a cinnamon roll or coffee, and you got coffee melts or you got a cinnamon roll melt, depending on what you chose. So I'm literally trying to bring things back to the stories. And from there, I had lunch with a friend, Homewood Handmade, who is a knitter, just up on commissions and sells um, amazing mittens and all sorts of things. And we had lunch, and I mentioned it, and the woman about fell out of her chair. And it was kind of in that moment that I realized this lady doesn't do advents. She doesn't buy them. And I was like, this could be a really cool idea. And so I mentioned it to other people, and the same thing happened. And so last year, I decided to give it a shot, and I made 15 choose your own adventures. So there was the normal calendar based off the books, gifts based off the books, colors are drawn from the covers, and then there were the choose your own adventure prompts. And holy cow, like the response was insane. I had people like hitting me up before the end of December. When did next year's go on sale? And then Rachel did a video, Sonnet did a video, and Cindy did 2 videos. And it was just like people were so excited for this. It kind of made me realize that building an advent that I would want to pay for, that I would like, that you would feel like you actually like got something out of it. It wasn't just, you know, they bought standard stitch markers or they bought crappy can. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just like, oh, this is something that I want. These are things I'm going to use. That other people wanted that too, and that's how we've ended up here. And they've been on sale for 4 days, and we've sold all but 4 of the Choose Your Own Adventure calendars.
Oh my goodness, that's
insane.
amazing.
It's insane. But it really does kind of reinforce that thing of like, when you write something down, if it sticks with you, there's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we've ended up here with the Advents, and I love it. It's a lot of fun.
So last year was the first year you tried this Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah, last year was the first year, so I had to learn how to build a Choose Your Own Adventure and have to figure out, like, do the choices tie into each other? How do they tie into the books? And then the biggest problem is something that happens. So I build a book list. I put the books in color order, and then I'm like, okay, this is the way I'm going to dye them. Well, things happen, and things get all mixed up once you're done because the colors, you know, maybe it's more predominant blue than yellow, or, you know, however it came out. So then everything shuffles. So then I had to figure out a way to make things work where if you opened day 7 one day and you opened, you know, day 9 the next, or however it fell, that those would all work, but that the story would then still work. So last year was the first year we did it full out with the Choose Your Own Adventure, and it was a task, but this year is going to be much easier because I've got a plan.
Mm-hmm. So this year you've broken it into 4 options, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about those options.
Yeah, so what I had done in the past was I had done a more basic box that just came yarn only, and then day 25, which is so exciting to me. It's become, I've got the same people every year. So I have an amazing Spellbound Books does a blind date with a book for day 25, and then I have custom bags that I get made, and then I make my own stickers. So it was that and those, and then we had the classic box originally, which is just everything. Well, now we have the Choose Your Own Adventure. So I wanted to find something to really span the different price points because I know how expensive this is. So this year I'm doing a yarn only box, which is the Elemental box. Mm-hmm. You will get all of the yarn, a custom project bag, all the stickers, and then the next level up is the Novice box. That gets all of the yarn, all of the stitch markers, all of the stickers, and then the full day 25. So day 25 comes with stickers, the blind day with a book, and a custom bag. Then the classic is your classic advent. There are the gifts from the books on top of stitch markers and teas and things like that. Full day 25. And then we have the Choose Your Own Adventure. Now, that one comes with additional gifts that are tied back to the book. Mm-hmm. It comes with a different custom bag. And then it comes with, God, I have to remember, 12, I think it's 12 prompts. And every other day you get a prompt and it's pulled directly from the book. So there was one last year where you were offered a talking plant and it was sassy. And you could choose to take the plant, or you could tell the lady, I don't need talking plants in my life. I'm going to go about my way. And if you said,
Well, after seeing Little Shop of Horrors, I don't think talking plants are a good idea.
so if you took the sassy plant, you opened like day 6, and the plant gave you directions to your next stop because you were looking for the golden hank last year. Mm-hmm. If you said no to the plant, you would open day 7. So your prompt is on day 6, so you would open day 7, and then a bird dropped a seed into your bag and it sprouted a talking plant, and the plant harassed you for leaving it and then was still nice enough to tell you where to go next. So they tie in, but it lets it kind of flip-flop a bit, and it lets you create a unique order for the 24 yarns, because it literally, I think I did the math last year and it was something like 4,000 different options with those 12 different choices. And so it not only has that element of coming back to the books and kind of giving you the inside to the book, but it adds an element of individuality, because if you put them in the order that you open them rather than the order that they're in, you are truly going to get something that's based on what you did and what your choices were. So it was a lot of fun. And last year's was, we were looking for an ancient relic, the golden hank. Mm-hmm. This year is the story of how the golden hank was made.
Oh, cute.
So next year will be something else, but I'm going to stick with the golden hank for this year and enjoy the little prequel while we can.
Did you 3D print that, by the way, last year?
Yeah, we did, and I don't have it in here. I have it in my my office. But on day 25, the people from last year got a golden hank. So I took Sonnet's artwork and we turned it into something else. We are going to be 3D printing something this year. We're trying to decide if we just want to alter the golden hank, or what we want to do, because we really want more golden hanks out there. So that's kind of on the playing field. But it was so exciting to get those and to see Sonnet's artwork turned into little mini statues. It was so fun.
I know she loved that. She was going crazy over the fact that it was 3D. There were some, they sent me extras because the knitting needles and crochet hooks were delicate. So I have one whole one and then a bunch of broken ones in my office. And people that don't knit and crochet come in and say, what is this? Like, it's so cool to see it brought to life that way. And like, it's one of those things that I love about doing this, is I can take something like that and turn it into a 3D print that you get to keep in your office. Well, for me, when I was watching Cindy's video, how I felt about it was, oh my gosh, this advent calendar feels like your traditional yarn advent calendar mixed with Candyland and D&D.
Yes. The D&D world is like the route I've been going with a lot of the fantasy books, and a lot of them are fantasy themed, and it is that world. And it's so funny because a lot of the small tea companies are Dryad Tea. There's even a D&D tea. There's Tea and Absinthe. A lot of them are gamer focused, which I love. And so I'm trying to kind of work that in, because that is this fantasy world, right? It's the video game, it's the D&D, it's, roll for your choice. But it's also super nostalgic, because how many of us had those growing up where, turn to page 60 for this, and then you could be different every single time. So yeah, it's a weird amalgamation of things that just work.
So how did you come up with, how do you decide the books? Because they have to all work.
Cool. So that is a heavy pull. So I generally read 100 to 150 books a year. And I do that through audiobooks as well as physical books. You have to, when you're trying to pick 24 books that are all they don't all have to be bangers, but they have to be good, and the cover needs to be amazing. So a lot of it is my preference. I'll read a book and did I like the story? Do I think that a lot of other people would like the story? And then can I pull a gift out of it? Is there something to bring? And then it goes into a file. And then I basically create a giant Canva doc where I load in. This year, I think I started with 60 something covers. And I just start putting them in color order, the way that it makes sense. This is more prominently purple, but that's purple and yellow, so that's going to go over here. And it just becomes, I probably spend 2 months whittling it down to 24 covers. And it still fluctuates. I recently finished a book called Mad Honey that just knocked me out of left field, and I had been looking for a predominantly yellow book, and so I made a switch, and that happened last month. And that can happen up until I'm dyeing yarn, as long as I haven't bought a gift for a book. Like I can make it work. But that's how it happens. And then I take color swatches. So I take color swatches out of the book using Canva to then make sure that those colors do indeed follow through. And that's how I come up with all the colorways and try to make sure that they at least kind of work together.
So I know that you have, what is it, 4 yarn options, 2 sparkle and then 2 plain?
Yeah, so this year there are 4. So there's a traditional sock, DK, and then I have a chunky weight, and then I added my sparkle in this year. So let me see if I even have. It's the fun part. I'm like, wait, what do I have behind me? And sock. These are all previous yarn calendars. I don't get rid of any. Well, I do get rid of them eventually, but all of the minis are leftovers and little under 20 grams. So yeah, so I have the traditional sock and then the sparkle sock, which I don't know, is it sparkling in that light?
Yeah, that's nice.
And then I have
Sarah Sanderson.
yes. And then I have my DK, and then I have this really fluffy chunk. And it is a little bit heavier than like a bulky worsted. Not as heavy as like a Bernay blanket, but like a good
Probably about a 5.
Yeah. And it's super soft. So those are going to be the 4 that I'm offering this year. I decided to throw the sparkle in because, I mean,
who doesn't love
I could lay all of the same color down, and the one with the sparkle stands out. So it is, yeah. So we're going to do 4 this year, and we'll see how that goes.
Do you have any of the calendars? Like, which specific ones do you have left so that they know?
Yeah, so I have everything except we're down to, I think it's 3 or 4 of the classic, of the epic calendars. So there's only a few choose your own adventures left, but I think we've only sold out of the elemental, so yarn only and DK. Everything else is available. And the only reason we sold out of that is because I'm using up cozy brown boxes I had from last year, where I shipped my base out in that. I had 9 boxes left over, and I said, you know what? I don't have to buy any gifts. I don't have to do anything. Like, I can just do 9 yarn only boxes for those of you that want them and see what you think. So that's why that's out.
Oh, somebody loves your hair.
Oh. Thank you. I started to go white, and I didn't like it. I was not a pretty salt and pepper, and I said, you know what? Like, if we're not going to be happy with it, let's bleach it. It's just hair, and it changes every month or so. It's different.
So, for this particular advent calendar, if you only have 4 left of like the choose your own adventure one, the big one is what you're saying.
Yep.
But all your other little ones, because you have 4 options. All the other little
Yeah.
ones still have plenty.
Yeah. All the other 3 have plenty still in stock. I want to say, I would look, but it would black out the screen. I want to say we have 57 still left. I made 89 this year. So 57 calendars still left.
And of course, I'm excited because one of the things you offer this year is tea.
So the tea has been like a long-standing thing. Don't need another hobby. I love tea. I've always loved tea. And this idea that I could find teas that directly call back to the books is so fun. I included The Hobbit last year, and the tea for The Hobbit was called Dragon's Golds. And it was an apple heavy tea, and it was amazing. And my husband tasted it, and he was like, "This is what the Shire tastes like. Like, this is, do you know what I mean?" So I'm really trying to do callbacks. I don't want to do any spoilers for this year, but there are some very heavy direct callbacks this year that are direct. Like, they're drinking it in the book, you're getting it. Like, yeah, the tea will never go away, ever.
So when you work with the tea companies and the people who give you the little extras and stuff like that, do you tell them what you're looking for, or do you like shop the stuff they already have?
Yeah, so it's a bit of both. So in some cases, generally for teas, so spoiler alert, there's a gingerbread tea this year. I have spent 6 months looking for a gingerbread tea.
Tell me that's one of the ones that's decaf.
I think so. I think it's a chai. I want to say it's decaf, but I searched for this, and I searched and I searched and I searched, and my next kind of step was to reach out to a tea maker and say, "Hey, can you make this?" For the teas, I try to find something that they already stock so that you can go back and buy it again.
Right.
Because I hate, not that I don't love getting exclusive things, but I hate when they send you a sample of something and you can't get it. Like that just happened with me, and I'm like, but this is the one that I really like. Like my inner dragon comes out and is like, but I need to hoard this. And a little bit of the other. So sometimes I work with the Sexy Knitter, and the Girl with a Yarn Stash is one I've used. Chapel View Crafts I've used before for my stitch markers. And sometimes it's, "Hey, you have these amazing little dragons. Can I just buy 80 of them?" And other times, like this year, I sent them both a list and said, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for. Can we do this?" Or like there was a little glass octopus last year because the book was Beautiful Creatures, I think was the book. And so I got a little orange octopus to go with it.
The one about you don't know if you're dark side or light side?
No. Oh, goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm throwing you off. No,
you're fine. It is, I want to say it was Beautiful Creatures, and it's about a lady who cleans the aquarium and this giant octopus who wants to get out, and he's been there for years. I can't remember his name right now. This is what happens when you read 150 books a year to try to... And so we did little glass octopuses. And I reached out to Sarah at Sexy Knitter, and I said, "Hey, what do you have anything that could meet for this?" So I do a bit of both. I would like to get to a point where maybe I'm including a custom tee, because I'm doing so much. We're doing custom graphics. I print my own stickers. We've started doing in-home 3D printing. Like, I would love to have everything be custom, but not there yet.
Well, one thing I think is really cool about your calendars is that you make sure none of it is Christmassy or holiday, which is funny because you're Jolly Holiday Yarns. But I'm pretty sure you do that for the same reason Twice Sheared Sheep does, and that's so people can do it all year round. They can use it all year.
So they can do it all year round. The other thing is that although it is an Advent, and yes, it goes 25 days, I don't want to block somebody out who maybe doesn't celebrate traditional Christmas. And I had a request last year. Somebody was like, "Can you please include a Christmas book?" And so I was like, "I have Christmas books. We'll include them." And like, I don't mind doing that, but like, I feel like there's so much of that, and there's so much of that that's commercialized that like, why not give you something that just makes you happy and maybe is winter themed or, has this. But the other thing is that I have found is that if you focus on Christmas or even just winter, then the items like, not that I don't love a pair of mitten stitch markers all year round, but they're not what I'm going to grab for in January or even in, July, things like that. So I really wanted it to be non-denominational, something that anyone could have, and that it didn't make you feel like you had to use it at a certain point.
I guess technically somebody could save it and like say if somebody has a birthday in January or February.
Yeah. Yeah. You absolutely could. I just stick to the traditional Advent format because a lot of people know that and it's familiar.
And you're more likely to make a sale.
Right. You understand. I've considered doing smaller boxes, but it's definitely like it is a choice. It is something that I absolutely like. I do so that it reaches the most people that it can, and then it also doesn't pigeonhole me because it absolutely would if it was all Christmas themed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of Christmas books in my like reading hoard, but I can't imagine how much harder it would be if everything had to be Christmas themed.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, what you were talking about, it kind of phases itself out. If you stick to too specific a theme, it really kind of phases itself out, Although I have to say, do I still use my gingerbread puppy tin? Yes. It's a puppy. That's a cookie. Why not?
Right? Why not? But it does, and that's what I found very quickly. The very first theme was those 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. And then it became about, well, okay, but like, what do I really want to do? And what do I really like? What are we going to do next? And do they have to connect? And do they have to be the same things? And the moment I took my love for reading, which is a little bit more obsessive than my like love of yarn. If we were in my office,
I understand. My loyalty is to pens and markers. That was my first love, and yarn knows that it's second best.
Yeah, so you get it. And so once I thought about, I could take my love for books and turn it into yarn and let that be the inspiration, because it was really floundering for an inspiration even for the business. Mm-hmm. I can dye colors I like all I want, but if you don't have some sort of inspiration, eventually you kind of just shrivel up and there's nothing there. You have to have something to go to even in those hard times, and the books have been it for me.
So how did you come up with the name Jolly Holiday?
So I do. I absolutely do. So, oh God, I wish so hard. I decided to set up in front of the yarn wall, and I don't know where they are. I initially started, I'm a Disney girl down to like my soul. And some of the first kind of tests and colorways I did were Mary Poppins themed. Oh, I have a blank that is Mrs. Bank with the suffragette stripe, Mr. Banks with his red, white, and his little red boutonniere. Mm-hmm.
Did you do the purple horse?
I didn't. I did each of the kids. I did the family at first, and it just didn't take off. There wasn't a big market for it. I did this amazing thing where I reached out to cosplayers because copyright, and I said, I would love to do this inspired on your costume. Mm-hmm. Like, you look so gorgeous, and I featured them on my page, and it was so great. And I just stumbled into the name. It's one of those things that I feel like I remember the first time I heard the song when I was a kid, and it just makes me smile. And so I just, even as the business kind of evolves, I can't leave it. I love it. I just, this idea of the yarn takes you somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like, it lets you get away. And that was the original theme, was travel. And, if you go have a cocktail somewhere, what does that look like? And what colors are, Amalfi in Italy and things like that. And that kind of burned itself out really quickly, but I think it still stands.
Yeah.
Like, pick up a ball of yarn and you go into your own world, whether you're listening to a book or,
Well, I'm
just,
guessing Oh, the Places You Die wouldn't be a most welcome title.
No, absolutely not. But honestly, it has been the one that stuck with me. The same thing with my branding. I had an amazing graphic designer who I had this idea of having the Hank on the beach in the little chair with his little sunglasses on. And the more we get in, and now he's become like little individual people in the advents. Like, I'm like, how has no one done this before? Like, it just, every time it makes me smile, and it will stay that name until it doesn't.
You need to reach out to Ladybird next year. She makes little stitch markers that are teeny tiny little Hanks.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those. I love them. I have been, my biggest thing, and I learned really hard last year, is durability. We did the glass octopi,
Yeah.
and that was no, like
They didn't
they
make it.
broke. A lot of them did, a lot of them didn't. I had like mine broke, and it was just she had to send a bunch of extras because we didn't expect them to be so fragile. So something like that, I'm kind of concerned about tugging and pulling, but like is not off the table. Like there may be absolutely collab very soon of like, so can we make a real Hank? Because to send the 3D printers reference photos, I took my dog's birthday hat, which is it's a cat little cowboy hat that fits in the palm of my hand, and I put it on a hank of yarn, and then my husband and I took photos, and we're like, this is what this needs to look like. So we're already starting to make it a thing of like, we're going to be able to actually have a hank of yarn dress like this in our house one day.
Yeah, because he became like your little logo.
Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely, he's my logo. And when I got into, I don't remember the first year we did, I had an amazing graphic designer, Maggie, who came back this year because unfortunately Rachel couldn't come back this year. And Maggie did we did Hank in a penguin floaty, and Hank in rain boots with a little yellow raincoat and an umbrella, like while it was raining for spring and skiing for winter. It's ridiculous.
Wait, how do you put a Hank in boots, plural?
He's on them.
Okay.
Like he just has them. It gets a little sketch when we put him in things and on things. Right now we're dealing with the way that the Advent works this year is that we're bringing back the ancestors of last year's stickers. And so, like, we have a pirate that we're slightly struggling with because we don't want them to look the same as they did last year, but we still need him to look like a pirate. And so it's like he doesn't have arms, but we can put a belt on him and we can put glasses on him. We can give him an earring, but where does it like go? We have some very strange conversations, but I really I still, every time I get an email or I always send out extra stickers and stuff in my packages. I'm always like, how is this not a thing?
Yeah.
How is there not like a YouTube shorts where somebody has got like an animated hank of yarn because it works really well shape-wise. It's so dumb, but it's so fun. It really is.
You know, if you're ever stuck, I strongly recommend looking at VeggieTales because
Right?
they have arms and legs, and they make those cartoons look like it works.
Pirates
movie.
I will keep that. Maggie got an amazing email from me. She sent me the pirate, and I was like, I don't know if you're gonna get my reference, but I need him to be more Tim Curry, Long John Silver from the Muppets Treasure Island. I need him to be a bit more Muppet. And she was like, I got you. And so I'm so excited because while we're sitting here, I get the email that, oh, here he comes. Like, now you get to see him. And so it's led to some very interesting conversations. And like, I give so much credit to Maggie and Rachel Sonnet, and then my initial designer. Like, I came to them and said, let's let's take an inanimate object and make him a thing. And they went, okay. And they've jumped back in. Like, it's so much fun. I love it. It makes me giggle.
Have you ever thought, I mean, I thought of this when I was watching Cindy's video, and that's one of the reasons I reached out to you. And you remember that I asked you, have you ever thought of including a small pattern people could make along with?
Yeah, so last year we included 2 patterns. We did some, we did 2 mug cozies. I did one that was crocheted and one that was knit just because I do both. And I'm not like technique biased. I want everybody to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. This year, it's harder than you think.
Oh no, I'm sure.
It is so hard to find something because math. So the advent in minis only, so in a 20 gram minis, you got 4.8 full skeins of yarn. Mm-hmm. So a full advent is 5.8 skeins of yarn. And that goes anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 yards in sock, and maybe a little higher, to 1,000 yards in chunk. So to find a pattern that can bridge all of those is so hard. I've talked about working with Karen from Hoagland Handmade and maybe creating something, but as of right now, no. I might do another set of patterns this year, but for right now, it's so hard. Mm-hmm. It really is, and it's hard because, as you can tell from behind me, like I like a bunch of different colors, and you like look behind you, you like a bunch of different colors. So then how do I choose a pattern for you? Right? Mm-hmm. So I struggle. That's something that I struggle with. I'm like, I want to just not let this box live in your craft room forever. I'd love to give you something to make with it, but also like, how do I choose for you?
I've seen the ones for, what's the name of that place? Alt Knots works with her all the time, and they do the Halloween boxes.
Yeah, I've seen them before where they.
It's something 22.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, no, there are so many that like I find that a lot of the like make-alongs have to be a very specific box.
Yeah.
And like people don't want to buy that without knowing the colorways. That's one reason that, and I know you've seen it on my social media, I've done a little bit of spoiling this year. Mm-hmm. Because I find, and I get it, I've been so disappointed. I don't want to buy something and I don't know what's in it. So I'm like trying to share, some of the colors and like the book inspirations, so that people know what they're getting. Because I find like if you're going to buy something to do a specific pattern, you want to at least have an idea of what that color palette is. Mm-hmm. And this is just too, I mean, these are the last 2 or 3 advents. Like it's such a range of colors. And like even just picking up these, like, yeah, those might go together, but these might not. So it's just, yeah. Mm-hmm. Becomes difficult unless I were to do a smaller box, which I am totally open to do. If a pattern maker reaches out or I find a pattern that I absolutely love.
Okay. I was just curious because I mean, I don't know if I remember Cindy mentioning the pattern in her video.
So she had a QR code. Mm. The way we did it last year was it was one QR code that I included in the box that took them to a page that they could then download the pattern.
Okay.
Just for security's sake, I didn't honestly, like, it would take up so much space to print off like the patterns and put them in those little boxes. So.
No, I get it. I completely get it. So, last year you had kind of a like I was gonna say like Indiana Jones Hobbit kind of like mix.
Yeah.
And so can you tell us anything about this year that's not super spoily?
Yeah. So I won't give out names because the graphics are coming soon and I don't want to spoil that. But so last year was this idea that you had these 4 adventurers. Let me see if I have, hold on one second. I think I have. I do. See how well this comes up on camera. So last year we had these 4 adventurers, and we have our little scholar, and then we have our pirate, we have our little mage, and we have our adventurer. So the idea for this year is that the people talked about are these people's ancestors, but we're talking about the creation of the golden hank. So the base story this year is that there are 2 rival factions, a knitting group and a crochet group, and they each have their elder. And there will be stickers of the elders, and they have to come together to stop the Tangle Wars. They have to put their stitches together and get over their dislike of the other craft, and they have to come together to weave and create the golden hank to stop the world from unraveling. And once they've created the golden hank, so we'll have 2 elders. Once they've created it, they then give them to their ancestors. So it will be a version of these 4 in addition to the 2 new ones to then squirrel him away. And they have to get around, the different obstacles and the different things in the way. I think there's going to be killer bees and invasions and magic hotels. Like there's going to be all sorts of stuff this year. And so the idea is that it's the prequel to that. So whereas last year there were 5 stickers, this year there will be 7 because we're going to add the elders in. And I already have the graphics for those, but I want to wait to release them until I have everything. They're amazing. They are so fun. They feel very like Hobbit and D&D realm. And I think it's where Maggie's artwork kind of sits. But it's so fun. And it's so fun to see like Rachel's artwork taken into then Maggie's style. And to see those kind of translate as they get older. But that's the story for this year. This year is the prequel, the actual making of the golden hank. And so it's gonna be fun.
The boxes are gorgeous.
I am in love with them. The company that I use does such a good job. And I'm so excited. They're out in my room. I don't know why I didn't grab anything. They're out in the other room. It's because, like we were talking about beforehand, of like, it just kind of seeps into every area of your house. So I have all of the yarn behind, well, half of the yarn that has come in behind us. It's just all over the place. I've got gifts over here. The boxes are in our 3-season room. There are empty boxes because I always have to repackage things to be able to pass them out and package them downstairs. And by the time the advent gets here to package them, there will be stuff in every room of the house.
Do you have any help?
Yes, my husband is an amazing help. I just call him fondly Mr. Holiday on everything. And he is such a big help, and he helps me package everything up. In the past years, we've made the mini skeins by hand.
Oh, wow.
So this year we're, my supplier started offering pre-done mini skeins, so we're not going to do that this year, but he helps me hand pack everything, and then we ship them together. It's a whole family effort for the month of late October to mid-November.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a thing.
When do you usually ship them out?
So they generally go out, I try to ship them out the week before Thanksgiving. This year we're going to try to push a little earlier, but I try to get them out early enough so that you don't get them and not like staring at them for 2 weeks, but that you get them before December 1st.
Okay. And I believe you have something for my audience.
I do. They can use the code, I believe it was Spoonie 10, and they can get $10 off their advent. And the advents come with free shipping, and that applies to any level of the advent. And then if anyone in the audience is military, they can message me on my website or Instagram or, through whatever. And we do a military discount. So you can get 10% off your whole order. For advents, it's only up to $15, but you can get that off if you're a first responder or military. And that goes for retired, discharged, any of that. If you've had service, or your, parents or your spouse or your brother has had service, like the whole family serves in that aspect. So
there are a lot of establishments that should take a lesson from you. But I don't know. Can we say what you did for me? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Because it's a one-time thing, and I can't replicate it for anybody else. So you go right ahead.
So I started talking to her last year, and I told her that her yarn was beautiful, and she's like, "Oh, I've still got some in my shop after Advent and stuff. We had extra colors if you want to buy some of the colors." I said, "I can't. I'm allergic." And she's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm allergic. I'm so sorry. I would." And she said, "Well, let me see what I can do." And you've been working on this since like December of last year. You've been trying to research what you can dye and what you can't. That's bamboo or cotton or something, so that I could have some yarn, which was so sweet.
It's so hard. And I remember, like, I messaged you and I was like, so the cotton failed pretty hard. It's like, it shouldn't be so hard, right? Like, it should be so easy to be like, oh, I can just dye cotton, but it's a totally different process. And it's so frustrating. So because I have cotton left over from my impulse buy, because I got excited talking to you and I was like, I can do this. I even listed on the website before I tested it. That's how I was like, we're gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. One thing that Rebecca on Knits does a lot is she dyes cotton with tie-dye. And so I'm like, hey, let's give this a shot. And even if I can't get some of my like super like color heavy stuff, I can still get a beautiful set of gradients with different colors in that same vein from tie-dye and be able to like offer it to you. I have it, like, I don't want it just to rot in my like stash forever. Like, why not offer it to somebody who, I imagine you probably have problems finding advents.
So I have a thing on my channel called Gift or Garbage, which is
Yeah.
where I review kits, products, or advent calendars. The advent calendars are the most popular, especially after last year and your inspirations.
Yeah.
That was garbage with a capital G. But I have a lot of trouble with advent calendars because either they don't fit the vein of my channel, or I've been so disappointed. And I get them every year hoping they'll improve. Same reason I keep doing the Thunder Bay kits. But yeah, I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. Who knows? But I always keep wanting to give companies a chance because it's like, okay, I feel like you could improve.
Yeah.
I mean, the Woobles did. They massively improved in a year because they actually listened to their customers. So that was huge.
Yeah.
And so I have to do certain kinds of advents. And so beautiful ones on Etsy, all the little small shops that I would love to support.
You can't,
Can't. I mean, I get yarn from Twice Sheared Sheep that they want me to review, and I'm like, you realize I can't touch this. And they're like, okay, just hold it by the label. And I was like, okay. So it's so sad when I'm doing their yarn reviews because it's like, look at this beautiful little yarn that I clearly don't want to touch.
Oh, that's my thing is like, I would love to be a yarn shop for everyone. I know my top tier is high, but like I work really hard to keep my yarn prices on par with the rest of the market and keep, you know what I mean? Like, if I can offer something like that to somebody that does have an allergy, it shouldn't be more expensive to me. And to be completely honest, if we weren't active duty military and we didn't move, it would have happened. But I have to like create an entire other system because you have to incorporate soda ash and soaking the soda ash. And that can't come into contact with, it just becomes a thing. And it's like, why is it so difficult? And it really pushes a lot of smaller makers out of the market.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. Like, I won't say that it was cheap for me to get into yarn dyeing because I was able to go through, non-conventional stuff, but like it's not cheap. It's an investment. And to have to, test it out. Half of the top of this wall is things that I've tested out, and I sent a giant box of yarn to somebody that I had tested and taken pictures of to somebody. Like it's not cheap. And so it's so frustrating when like that process is so much harder. And it's not like, oh, I can just do this for you. Like you asked for it. Let me just buy some yarn and do you know what I mean? Where I can with everything else. So it's so frustrating. So I'm really excited to get to play with unconventional materials, tie-dye kits, and they come in 1,000 different colors. So I think we're going to be great. And to be able to do that for you, because it's like,
and honestly, mine doesn't even have to match because I didn't get the choose your own adventure. I just got the yarn and the treats. So, I mean, if you want to do whatever colors you want to do, I'm good.
It absolutely needs to match in some frame, like will match in some frame or fashion. I can't help myself.
Well, that's
but like, it's my brain. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things of like, I should be able to offer that without having to put so much like other into it. And that's where the bigger companies are able to offer it. And then they're able to offer you a crappy advent because they're like, look, it's cotton.
Yeah.
Like,
I have to say, I am, is it addicted? Maybe the word is addicted. I am addicted to a certain kind of yarn that a certain company offers, and they put it in their advent calendar every year, and that's how they get me.
There you go.
And I have a channel where I review advent calendars. But yeah, it's like, I know that this could be absolute garbage, but hey, the yarn's great.
Yeah. No, and that's my thing. Like, that's one reason I started the advents that I did. And I apologize. The mailman's in the front yard. Oh. If you guys can hear the puppies. And it just like, I wanted to be able to do something for everyone rather it just being a knitter. Do you know what I mean? Like knitters only calendar, crochet only. Like, I want to do it for everyone. And so my brain starts to go into, well, if the tie-dye works well, you could just do a whole tie-dye line of just cotton only in those colors. Do you know what I mean? It starts to do stuff like that of how can I make this work as a small dyer without having to, take on the big companies. But absolutely, I have people, I thought the chunky was really hard to sell last year. And I love it. Like it is so soft. It's so nice. And
that's the one I would totally go for if I wasn't allergic. I love thicker yarn.
I'm trying to see if I have. There's so much yarn behind me. But there is so it's so squishy, and I just thought last year I was like, there's just no way. Like I'm not. People aren't gonna want this in Advent, and then people lost their mind over it, and I'm like, yeah, it gets to be an Advent. So like. A lot of it is a shot in the dark, and it does bring people back, which is great. But for little people, it's like, I don't know what's going to happen, rather than going up against Yarn Inspiration or Knit Picks, where they're like, hey, I can put this out. It's not big of a, that big of a deal if it doesn't sell.
Yeah, you crushed Yarn Inspirations last year, just so you know. I don't know if you crushed them in sales, but you definitely crushed them in quality, because I don't know what that was. That wasn't even yarn. I don't even know what it was.
It was, no, it wasn't.
Yeah. If you guys really want to hear all my thoughts, there's an entire video on my channel about all my thoughts on that advent calendar. But anyway, I was super, super interested in being your guinea pig because I love hand-dyed yarns. I love looking at them. I love going into yarn shops. Sometimes I have to walk out of those yarn shops, but I walk back in. And it's fascinating to me, first of all, the whole process. I've watched, what is his name? Super famous male YouTube yarn dyer.
If you hadn't said his name.
I didn't.
I know exactly who you're talking about. If you hadn't tried to, I know exactly who you're talking about. They do those beautiful videos where they're like, oh my, yeah, no, it's.
I could watch that all day long. I mean,
yeah.
And I love supporting small businesses. I think we should more. I love Small Business Saturday. I wish it was like every Saturday.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm starting to become a small business, very, very, very small. But but I'm starting to do that, and it's like, I don't know. I think when you actually start to become a small business, you actually do come into that frame of mind where you want to support them even more.
Yeah.
Because you're like, now I know where you're at. But at the same time, I think in the crafting world, we're just more likely to want to support the small businesses because we get it.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a small business, you get it somehow.
Yeah.
And then there's some people who don't get it and we don't talk about them. But it's so fascinating to me when people can do something I can't. I mean, I would never want to blow glass, but I love watching it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fascinating. We went to Italy, and I actually told my mom when I was little, when we went to Italy, I was like, I want to blow glass for a living. I'm terrified of fire and things exploding, but I want to,
blow glass.
I was small. Who cares?
I'm an adult, and I'm still like, we did a glass class in Duluth, Minnesota, and I was terrified. And it's the same thing. I'm like, I just want to do this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to burn something off.
Yeah. And I think hair art is really beautiful.
Yeah.
I've been told multiple times, do not dye my hair, do not dye my hair, do not dye my hair, because one, health reasons, but two, I have such a unique color and it keeps changing. You should have seen my hair when I was little. I literally had white under my hair that was natural.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, they're like, don't do anything to your hair. I'm like, I don't want to. I just want to watch.
Yeah.
And, I just find all of these different woodworking. I find it fascinating. That doesn't mean I want to do it, but that also doesn't mean I don't want to support it.
Yeah.
When I find people who dye yarns, make hooks, do, make their own stitch markers, all that kind of stuff, I want to support it. But I also work for these companies and they push stuff on me. Some of them are much kinder than others, but then I have to push that stuff out. And people are like, I thought you supported small business. It's like, I do, but I also have to make a living here.
Yeah. No, and that's a hard conversation to have. Like, excuse me.
You okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Went down the wrong hole when I swallowed. I am two small businesses. I have my other kind of 9 to 5, and then I have this. And like, my parents always had small business. So when I got into the yarn boxes, it was really important for me not to buy mass from big names. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be smaller. I wanted it to be a place where maybe you were exposed to a business you'd never seen before. I wanted to give my money to the smaller businesses. Now that has meant that my price point has been a bit higher from the start because I am paying small businesses, maybe not wholesale prices. And like, it is a really big deal for me to give them that exposure. And like, but at the same time, I am very honest, my boxes come from China. It is the only place that I can get those boxes. I've done lots and lots and lots of research that are the quality that I want at a price that absolutely doesn't tank everything else. Because if I bought them in the States, they would be $20 a box.
Yeah.
And that kills that. So like, I am very open with, I feel the same way you do. Like, these come from a bigger company in China. And you know what? I'm okay with that because everything else comes from a small business. Even if that small business is maybe importing pieces and putting them together, my money is still going to that small business. And so it's really important for me that everything that I do is through smaller businesses. And I am really, really, really aware of it. Big business has its place, but like you said, it is really for me about giving them a place to shine and to feature them. Something I really have gotten into with the yarn boxes is I like to feature soap, which is weird, soap and wax melts. And I go back to the same like wax melts company every year, and it's her and her mom, and they do custom wax melts, and I love them. They're amazing. And then this year I'm working with a soap company that like it's her, and that's it. And so it's so cool to be able to feature those people and expose this year more people than ever, almost 90 people, to all of these small businesses and to give them that exposure. And then the authors, like those indie authors who push to like get their book published on their own, they have been so loud and so like, oh my God, you did a thing on my book. You know, it really, I think that it pays dividends when we do that, even if we don't do it all the time. Like it comes back.
That's the other thing that the people get with your advent calendar that I don't think they realize. A reading list.
Yeah, you get 24 books. And you know, if you've read the books, the gifts make sense. I'm gonna try to do something this year where I like give you that connection, whether it's a little card inserted or you know whatever. But something so that you.
That was the only part that I struggled with was like I haven't read all of these books.
Yeah. And so I want to really make that connection this year of like, oh, they God, I'm trying to think of one of the gifts last year. They're
I got the vampire knitting one. In fact, I even messaged you. I was like, is vampire knitting one of the books? And you were like, yes.
Such a good, I love that one. Oh God, I'm trying to remember. This is what happens when you read too many books. So there were a couple of obscure ones last year where it literally was like, oh, this is what they do in the book. Or like if it says that they ate strawberry jam, like there's strawberry jam. Last year there was a tea shop and they did like magical readings. And so they would put honey in their tea and so there was honey. Like I'm trying to do that, but this year I'm going to put a little something in there so that everybody knows, oh, this is where this comes from.
I am so in love with symbolism that just makes my brain so happy when you know, do stuff like that because I mean, I've literally made purses where it's just the symbol of the different characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I love symbolism. I just bought some pins that were the princess silhouette because it's like, it's the princess, but it's not. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. Like, why do we have to just be up front and just slap Ariel's face on something?
Right. I don't. Yeah, it doesn't have to be so literal. And that's, I did a book box a few years before I did this, but after I had the idea. And it's Once Upon a Book Club. I love them. Mm-hmm. They literally like, if they give you gifts literally drawn from the book. If they say she picked up a key and that's the line that's underlined for them, it's a key bottle opener. And it's like, what am I going to do with this? Like, it's stuff like, it was almost too literal. So like, you know,
that works.
Sometimes
that works.
I like last year, days 24 and 25 from Legends and Lattes, where it was the coffee bean and the cinnamon roll. Like those are literal.
When you think of a coffee shop, that's what you think of, yeah.
Well, and that's the whole thing in that book. She introduces coffee and then hires a baker, and he creates croissants and cinnamon rolls and all of that when you get into the book. So it's like, oh, this like my brain makes sense without having read the book. But then if I've read the book, I really get it. So I'm trying to not be super, super literal in the case that like I can be super literal. Like the gingerbread tea, the book that goes with, like, is so literal. And there's one of the gifts that is so literal. But it doesn't have to punch you in the face. You can still like it without knowing that it has to go to a book. So that's what I kind of strive for.
I just think it's really fascinating what you do. I think your advent calendar is so unique. I think everyone should buy one. I get nothing from this, by the way. The code is just for y'all. Okay? I've already paid for mine. I just think everyone should know about your shop. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here is because I wanted the exposure for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Sorry we don't have a very big audience right now, but that's also because it's in the middle of the day. But, you know, the replay value.
Yeah, no, and like, I think a lot of it is people just hearing you talk about it and being like, oh, that's what that means. Or, oh, I didn't know that they do that. Like, it is really cool. And like, I don't ever underestimate if somebody with 2 followers said, hey, come talk to me. Like, I'm going to come talk to you. Cause like, I remember Sonnet did a video year before last. No one had ever made a video on it before. And I about fell out of my chair. Just her opinion. I didn't care about everybody else in the comments. And everybody else. It was her opinion that mattered. And so those are the people that like keep me doing what I'm doing.
That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah,
You
she
did
did a
something that was
video.
Alice in Wonderland themed.
So there was one. Yeah, there was one that was Alice in Wonderland. Yep.
That's where my brain kicked in, and I was like, well, this woman does Alice in Wonderland. I'm already a fan.
And that year there were two. There was Alice in Wonderland and then Heartless by Melissa Meyer, I think. So I had traditional Alice in Wonderland and then I had the Red Queen. So one of my favorite teas actually has come from that. Tea and Absinthe has a hibiscus-based tea called the Red Queen that is like, I swear, like people don't understand. The products that go in the Advent live in my house forever.
Oh yeah.
Like these are generally things that like I fall in love with and I keep. And I'm trying out soaps for this year's Advent, and there are some that are not good. And the one that's going in the Advent, I'm like, I need 10 of these bars just for me. Like I live these things. But no, that it is so much about getting to hear what people think about it and that they actually like it, because that's the point. Like I'm doing what I would want, and what I would want to pay for, and the fact that people like it is so freaking cool. Like it really is.
I struggle with that on my channel, balancing what I like and versus what people want to see on my channel. And I definitely think, and I've been scolded by my friends and such, that I definitely think that next year it might just be what I want to do. And if you like it, great.
Like the first year, I worried a lot about what other people would want, and then
Kat, something happened to your mic.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Something happened to your mic. You're all fuzzy.
Is that better?
No.
Are we good? We come back?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. But I really was like, not that I didn't hate the first Advent that I put out, but it was like, what can I do to make this better? Mm-hmm. And I really started like, what do I want? What do I like? And like, it has led me to have a giant box of teas of like, these are teas that I like. And then I've sampled from people and I come back to them every year. And like, that I think is really what has made the difference, because the Choose Your Own Adventure was, for lack of a better word, a fantasy. Mm-hmm. Of like, how cool would that be? Like, you get to make your own Advent. The colors, kind of go together, but you can still literally like, you get these prompts and it's different every day and it's different for other people. Like, I think that is really what's made the difference. And honestly, in both of my businesses, the moment I started doing the things that made me happy, that I enjoyed the most, I've really succeeded in. My other business has also been up in 4 years. I am doing amazing in that. And like, my clients get excited to work with me because I'm excited. Mm-hmm. And they can feel that. So like, I am such a big advocate for like, do what makes you feel good and what makes you smile, and people will come to you.
Yeah. I do. I mean, I make no apologies for my corgis.
There you go.
I'm going to keep making them forever. I mean, I started making them because my dog passed away. Yeah. And it's like her little pattern. So, Yeah. But I do make other things, obviously. I mean, I get tagged all the time as somebody that's like, all you make is amigurumi. And it's like, nope. And I didn't start out that way. I actually started making amigurumi a little bit before COVID, like 2019. Yeah. So yeah. And all of that. But yeah, I've made sweaters. I've made accessories. I love to make bags. I've made that kind of things. Like, I don't just make amigurumi, but I do like to teach amigurumi, and I do like to make amigurumi. So yeah, I guess you could call me an amigurumi designer and teacher.
Yeah.
So I do have kind of a niche, but at the same time, I would love to buy more hand-dyed yarns. And even if they were available to me without all the allergies and stuff like that, that's tricky to make amigurumi with hand-dyed yarn. A lot of people think that's, wasting the yarn. So it's rough.
Don't get me started on gatekeeping. You can use your acrylic for a really nice sweater, your cheap, red heart acrylic for an amazing sweater. It's going to look just as good as this.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use this. Cindy at Roomy Mill just made an adorable little bikini for her little elephant. And like, I love that. Like, you don't gatekeep. Yarn is yarn, and it needs to be used and it needs to be loved. And whether that is in an amigurumi, a sweater, a bag, heck, if you just use it to tie off a gift bag, like, as long as it is there and loved, I think that, like, it's been used well. In this case, it's pretty and behind us, and we love it, and it's used. Like, it's
a background.
It's a background. It's it's a way for me to, like, source colors and things like that, and, like, it's loved and it's used. So what's the problem? Yeah, people like that get on my nerves. I don't like. There are a lot of hand dyers that hate the conventional commercial yarn industry. They hate that, you walk into Walmart and there's a whole wall of red heart. And I'm like, but I started with that.
Yeah.
Why should it matter? Your product and mine even is a luxury. And I know that. So, like, you use what makes you happy and what feels good and what makes it look the way you want it to make it look. And if that's not my product, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Some people can only afford the little Dollar Tree stuff.
Yeah. And that's totally fine.
And then, people like me, it's like, well, I'm constantly experimenting with different yarns and stuff, but that's part of my channel is I review yarns. I test yarn. This is part of it. So yes, I buy from big box all the time. However, if they treat me badly, you also hear about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that there's so many ways to do it, and it really should just come down to what makes you happy. If you want to try something and you don't like it, that's fine. I have an entire discontinued bases thing where I've gotten yarns, I've dyed them up and been like, ugh. Like, and I think that everyone should be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Whether it's, buying a different brand. I almost said Joann's. Goodness, my mind's kind of wrapping around it. It's buying 2 different brands from Michael's and not liking one of them. Like, that's totally fine, in the same vein as you buy from 2 indie dyers and you don't like one. Like, fine. Like, you do what makes you happy and what you can afford. And as long as you're making and you're doing, like, I think that's what's important.
Yeah, I agree, Heather. I like that there's something for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because it lets so many people into the space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't, again, gatekeeping does not need to happen. Everybody should be able to make a sweater if they want to.
Okay, so before we wrap up, real quickly, just run through the 4 options for your advent calendars again and the price points if you want to.
Yeah, so I'm doing this off the top of my head, so nobody hold a gun to my head. So
you want me to pull it up on my phone just to make sure?
That's the problem. I'm on my phone, and if I go off, it goes off of here. The Elemental Quest is yarn only. I believe that starts at $130. Or is $130. That is yarn only. No gifts, no extras, so that if you don't have the extra space, you just get the yarn. And then Novice, I believe, is $150.
70.
Okay, so then Elemental's $150, Novice is $170, and then that is all of the yarn. You get stickers, stitch markers, and day 25, which is a custom tote and a blind date with a book, all in a branded box. The Novice the Elemental comes in a brown, just a brown box. Everything else comes in a branded box. So we have Elemental at $150, just the yarn. Novice, stitch markers, stitch markers, stickers, $170. And then Classic, so you get the other 2, yarn, stitch markers, stickers, tea, and a set of book-related and fiber-related gifts.
That's the one I got.
And so when you got that one is, I believe it's $210. And then there is the Epic, which is a choose your own adventure. So you get everything in the other boxes plus additional exclusive gifts. You get a custom tote bag that's different from everyone else. And then every other day you get a prompt with 2 questions, and you get to choose what yarn then you open the next day, and it ends up creating a custom order for all 24 yarns. And yeah, it's a really fun adventure with custom graphics and all the yarns are hand dyed by me based off of books, and their covers. All of the gifts are related to the books and or yarn. And that price point is $240 this year. And yeah, there's 4 different weights. We've got a sock, a sparkle sock, DK, and a fluffy chunk. And those are all the options for.
And they get to pick. They get to pick their yarn weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. They always get to pick your yarn weight. You get to pick your quest and your yarn weight. If you want a description that makes more sense, my website breaks everything down, including the makeup of the yarns. And you can see what was in it last year. I break down the yarn, what gifts were included in the classic, what the tote bags look like, what was in the epic. So you can really see everything there. And then, like I said earlier, do have, we've got Spoonie 10, the code if you want to get $10 off. And if you are a family member or a first responder or military or a family member of military, you can hit me up and I'll give you a code to get 10% off your order or up to $15 off your advent.
She is Jolly Holiday Yarns on Instagram, so you can always DM her. That's how I contacted her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's a place on your website that says contact me as well.
Yep. There's a contact me button there. They can always message me or, hit me up there and I respond back. I try to respond back pretty quickly, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. Yes. I know exactly how that goes. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time because you have a family to take care of and your business. But thank you so much for being here today. That was so great. I loved hearing all of this stuff. And I hope you sell more advent calendars because you deserve it. And everyone should buy an advent calendar, at least the yarn.
Thank you so much. It was so fun. I love getting to talk about it. I feel like my poor hubby hears so much about it because we're, kind of landlocked and we move so often that like my yarn community is all online. So he gets to hear about it. So to get to talk about it with somebody else who understands what I mean when I say something like DK, I don't have to explain it, is so great. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, we're so happy you were here. It was so exciting. And you start shipping out either the week before Thanksgiving or possibly a little earlier this year.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Well,
perfect.
Thank you so much, Kat. We won't keep you any longer.
Thanks, Shannon. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye. Wasn't that exciting? I just knew that y'all had to hear about this advent calendar because it's so cool. And I'm so excited to get mine. My little personal one, which was so sweet. So you will see a review on my channel, at least of the classic version, which is the first 2 plus extra stuff. I didn't get the really big one. I got the next one. Yeah, everyone go check out her website. I have put it in the chat so many times, but it's also in the description box below. You can save $10 with the code Spoonie10 at her shop. And it is a very cool concept for an advent calendar, is it not? Yes, it is such a cool advent calendar. I am so excited to actually be part of it and not just watch videos this year. And yeah, I just thought you guys had to hear about it because I know that Cindy made a video and it absolutely blew up and it was great. Sonnet made a video too. And again, they both have a lot of subscribers, but I have a different kind of audience over here. So, I thought you guys should hear about it too. And okay, so this morning I was hit with a whole bunch of information. I'm going to make a video tomorrow. By the way, I wasn't planning on doing a video tomorrow, but one company's hit me with a lot of information and then Teresa hit me with some information. So I am going to do a video tomorrow about all the stuff coming to a lot of these companies, what's going on with Decade Divas, and a little bit of what's happening this week, because there have been some changes. So, but real quickly, if you head on over to Twice Sheared Sheep, another small business, they are doing the mystery bags today. The mystery bags are things that were in old surprise boxes. And those are the exclusive subscription boxes. You don't know what you're getting, but they're from the exclusive subscription boxes, so they were never sold in the store. And you get at least one skein of their hand-dyed yarn with some goodies. It is a $75 value for $50. It's a really good deal. If you watched me unbox it January, I think. I don't know. They did another one earlier this year, and I unboxed some mystery bags, and it was the same thing, except this time we get yarn. So, again, more yarn I can't touch, but, you know, there's always giveaways. So, yes, very excited about that. Twice Sheared Sheep is linked in my description box, and if you use my link, it does help me. Thank you. Costs you nothing extra, all that jazz. All you have to do is go to the little tab that says shop, and then you'll see a little drop-down menu, and it says on sale. The mystery bags will be there. Also, I think you can still get a surprise box. I'm going to double check that. I think you can still buy just the fall box now. I'm not 100% sure. It might be sold out. Anyway, the fall shop for affiliates opens tomorrow. So I will be buying my little goodies that go in my box. And then the fall shop will open for y'all probably September, I'm guessing. Probably in September. So the summer shop is open. And the mystery bags are available. They only made 356. So hurry. They sold out in one day last year. So they're very popular. There are things for knitters and crocheters in there. And then, of course, the yarn is gorgeous, because Twice Sheared Sheep also works with hand-dyed yarn companies. So, what else? Oh my gosh, I was hit with so much information. Premier is making a new yarn that's coming out at some point this week. I didn't read a whole lot about that because I'm not happy with them right now. And OPhire hit me with a bunch of information. I'll let you guys know. Anyway, look for my video tomorrow. Basically, look for my video tomorrow. That will tell you everything you need to know about Decade Divas, what's going on with mine and Teresa's channels, and all the news from all the different companies. But I had to let you know about the mystery bags today because they're probably going to sell out by tomorrow. So, whew, okay. Well, we've got about 30 more minutes, so I'm going to stay on here for at least that long. And I have been working on doing different lives where I have been working on my little boops, my little bat boops, these little guys. And I've been turning them into different Disney villains. This one is Ursula. I need to add the little gold circle. And last night, I made some wings and some ears. So, woo, that's exciting. Today is August 4th, and if you go to Wendy's, the fast food chain, they now have the Wednesday's Meal of Misfortune. So it's only there for a limited time. So if you want to try that, I want to try it. I want to see what it's all about. So, yeah, I'm excited to try that. And Wednesday, season 2, premieres on Netflix on Wednesday, the 6th. On the 7th this week, and again, all of this will be in the video tomorrow, but the 7th, Thursday, first of all, Teresa and I both have our videos for Back to Basics, or at least I do. I don't know if she pre-recorded or not, but I have my video for Back to Basics. We are learning the half double crochet. So that'll be up at 11 a.m. Eastern. And that night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Critters and Spoonie Live will be on my channel. And I will be here with Andy, the Crafty Witch, who I believe is in the chat right now. Hi, Andy. And Teresa will be away. So it'll just be me and guest. It'll be me and Andy, the crafty witch. So we will try and keep you entertained. Same kind of deal. We'll try to be on for 2 or 3 hours. We'll see how long. Andy and I are both spoonies. We'll see how long we both last. So you should be able to watch on her channel as well. I will do my best to make sure that we'll link them. And Teresa and I were able to link them last time, so let's hope we can do it again. Let's see. Friday. Don't think I have anything Friday. Next Friday, the 15th, is Granny Square Day, International Granny Square Day. So if you have made something with granny squares, either post them on my community tab or my Facebook group and celebrate with us. I will have a very funny video. Teresa has put out the blind granny square challenge, and that is what I've decided to do for my video. So I will be making a granny square live again. And this time, I'm going to either do 4 rows or 6. Yeah. We'll see. But I will be blind. So I will be blind and no editing in my videos so that you know, yeah, she did this all blind. But that will be my video on August 15th. On August 16th is my collaboration with Dream It DIY. Been looking forward to this all year. She is a crafty DIYer, hence her name. And she does a lot of the Disney ears. She also does Halloween crafts. Halloween crafts is how I found her. She does amazing hocus pocus themed crafts. I love her channel for Halloween and Christmas, but Halloween especially. She did some really cute things. She made like Nightmare Before Christmas as like little lattes and stuff. It was so cute. So go check out her channel, Dream It DIY, and we will have a collaboration next Saturday, the 16th. I believe it's 3 p.m. Eastern will be my video. And I don't know when she's putting her out. I think we're putting them out at the same time. I really do. But at first, we won't be able to link each other's videos. But, you know, within a few hours, I will put her video in my description box. So you'll be able to find it very easily. We are doing a Disney collaboration, Disney themed. We are doing the Forgotten Friends of Disney. So characters you forgot about. And we are doing 2 or 3 crafts that have to do with those characters. So it's really fun. Neither of us know which characters we picked. Neither of us know what crafts we picked, except I did tell her that I'm going to attempt to make ears because that's what she's known for. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Did I ever send you Nightbot timers so you can drop each other's channel and Teresa's during the live without having to worry about it? Oh, timers? No, that's not an email I got from you. I got a whole bunch of other stuff, but nothing about timers. So if you'd like to send me that, I'd be very appreciative, Lori. Yes, Andy. Woohoo! So I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I have to sew one of my pieces together still, and there's a lot of pieces. And I have to start the ears, which I haven't started. I have not started that at all. Because I'm nervous and intimidated, and I've never done that before. So, I finally picked my character. I mean, I went through a lot of characters. This is all in the video, but I went through a lot of characters before I decided on this one. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Lori. Yes, I would agree. I can talk. I would be most appreciative of that. Okay, well, while we're here, Premier released a new yarn, which I'm supposed to talk about. So here we go. This is Premier Parfait Plush. Now, I'm sure you've seen this everywhere because they got, what was it, 9 designers? They got a bunch of designers to design plushies specifically for this yarn. It it is a super bulky 6, and yeah, this time I would agree this is a 6. But this is a 5. Yeah, I wouldn't use these together. This is definitely thinner. So this is a 6. 100% polyester, 174 yards. Use a 9mm knitting needle or a 9mm hook. Okay. And yeah, a whole bunch of people made some patterns for Premiere. They're all on their website for free. They're free pattern PDFs. And I'm super excited. I got 2 colors. Oh, I got hot pink and teal, which, as you can see, are 2 of my favorites. So yeah, you'd use a 6mm. I might even use a 5.5, 5.5 or a 6. Yeah, I use a 4.5 with 5 weights, so I'd probably use around a 6 or a 5.5 with this if I was making amigurumi. Now, if you are just making like slippers or something, you could probably get away with a 6.5, maybe a 7. I don't know. I make my burlap blanket slippers. I make that with a 7, so sometimes a 6.5, depending on what size I need to make. But yeah, this is the new thing in the parfait world. So Premiere Parfait Plush. And you're welcome to use my link. It'll be in the description box, and I can drop it here as well. Where did that go? There it is. Oh, I'm getting fuzzies at my nose. There's my link. And oh, I'll just show you what else I got. I wanted free shipping. So I also got the Premiere Minikin chenille. Okay. This is the Premiere Minikins chenille, 54 yards in each little cake, little mini cake. This is the one I got. This one is called Horizon. And apparently you're supposed to make a granny square out of it. That's not what I'm going to do, but that's what you can do. I think one of these makes that. So, there we go. I was like, where's the red? Here it is. There's the red. So there's 74 yards in each one. Again, 100% polyester. They're calling it a 6 weight. Way more like a 5. 8mm hook. A little fuzzy. Yeah, so I got 3 of these because it was a deal if you got 3. And I also got more of my Parfait Glitz, which I love. Ta-da! This is the bright pink Glitz. And if you've never seen it before, it is 109 yards, 94% polyester, 6% metallicized, hard to say, polyester. And they want you to use an 8mm. No. I got the pink one. And this one I've been really excited about. I have such a plan for this yarn, and if it doesn't work out, I might cry. But this is the Parfait Chunky Fruits. Now, they make the regular fruit yarn, which I love, especially the dragon fruit one. I love that one. in a 4-weight, and then of course they also make it in a sock weight. But for some reason, Apple only comes in the parfait. Don't know why, but Apple does not come in the regular one. So I really wanted Apple. You may not find out why till October. Maybe September. I don't know. But I have a plan for this yarn so much. I have a huge plan for this yarn. I've basically had this idea since last year. I just didn't buy the yarn, and so I didn't do it. But it's really cool. This is how it's supposed to work up. See, so it's like the inside with the seeds, and then the white part of the apple, the red part, the skin. It's really cool. So I'm going to play around with it. Hopefully it works out. But anyway, it is 262 yards, which that's a lot more than I was expecting for that, honestly. The color is apple because they're all named after fruit. It's a bulky 6. Treat it like a 5. 8mm hook. No. Machine wash, lay cold. Machine wash cold, lay flat to dry. 100% polyester, and it has a striping effect. So, yeah, super excited about this one. Honestly, more excited about this one than the new yarn. But the new yarn, supposedly, they have claimed, doesn't shed. Oh yeah, we're going to test it. We're going to find out. We'll see. But apparently it doesn't shed. That's quite a claim. But I'm super excited for this one. And then I will show you guys the sneak peek of my newest pattern, which I have not released yet. Okay, that's all you get. So, we shall see if that yarn truly is non-shedding. But anyway, that's what I got from Premier Yarns. And, sorry, there's something in my eye. Ugh. Yeah. So we'll see. I recently did my very first episode back from 2023. I didn't do this last year, but I meant to. And I started my autumn podcast again, which is literally just Sunday evening or afternoon where I tell you about my week, what I'm watching. It's very vloggy. It's just what's going on and maybe some stuff I have, maybe some new patterns, stuff I'm working on, just really chill. I wanted to make it alive. I really did. I wanted to make Autumn Podcast alive, but it was just easier to record it and then set it up as a premiere and then maybe be on there live with you guys. But yeah. So hopefully that'll be every Sunday. That's my goal. Yeah, I would love to pick one day a week where I'm live like this, like horizontal live, because I do my vertical lives late at night. But I haven't been able to like pinpoint a day where that would be good yet. So I don't know. But I'm hoping next year, I know that this is a while off, but I'm hoping next year to work on memberships and have a designated schedule as much as possible and maybe just get ahead of it so that I definitely have a schedule. I don't know. I'm still working on stuff, y'all. I don't know if it's going to work out or not. My body is completely unpredictable. Who knows? I never know what companies want me to do. I never know what I need to change on my channel. I never know what my body is going to do. So it's all a big thing. But yeah, So we still have some time. What is everyone working on? Did you think the advent calendar was cool? Again, you can save $10 with the code right here. Jolly Holiday Yarns is linked down below and in the chat. And Twice Sheared Sheep mystery bags are on sale right now. So, hope everyone is doing well. At the moment, my body is holding out, and it needs to keep holding out because I have a lot of videos to make today, so we'll see. So how is everyone doing? What are you working on? What's your week like? Feel free to share. We have 19 people. All right. It's pretty good for the middle of the day. Let's see. Oh, hold on. I think there's some OPhire news I'm supposed to talk about. I think they're having a sale. Is OPhire having a sale? I want to say they are. They have their new hook, which is really pretty. The lollipop, that's available. So here's the new hook is the lollipop. Hey, Lexi. Yes, the end of summer sale. Save 15% off the website. No code needed. So if you ever wanted to try anything from OPhire, now's the time. And the reason they're having their sale is because they need the room, because they have to clear out all the summer stuff to bring in the fall stuff. And they have a lot of fall stuff coming. Not allowed to say anything, but I am allowed to say that it's coming. So yeah. I will put OPhire in the description box and the chat as well if you are so inclined. Even if you just click on my links, guys, and don't buy anything, the companies see this and they like me better. So I'm about to start recording my Battle of the Stitches tutorial, #1 for the month. Oh, exciting! Yay! Yes, Teresa at Critters Crochet, Heather at Strings and Thread, they both host the Battle of the Stitches every Wednesday, and there are several people who are participating with them. This month we have, hold up, I have all this information. I know I do. Again, I will mention this in tomorrow's video, but since you're here, this month we have Lexi at Helix Crochet, and we also have Charity from Frog Crochet. So they are the two that are joining this month. And the stitch is, Lexi, help me out. What's the stitch? I can picture what it looks like. I just can't remember what it's called. Anyway, Battle of the Stitches. Very cool. I will talk more about it tomorrow. I'm not part of it. I'm just the moderator, but I'm trying to help Teresa while she's away. So I'm trying to mention the stuff that's on her channel and mine. Staggered double crochet. There we go. Staggered double crochet. Thank you, Lexi. Helix Stitchcraft and Frog Crochet are the two that are joining Critters Crochet and Strings and Threads this month. And just to remind you, this Thursday, the Spoonie Critter Spoonie Live, whatever, will be on my channel because Teresa is away with some family stuff. And my special guest will be Andy at the Crafty Witch. So, hey, Shannon. Oh, no, you missed it. You missed the advent calendar. Well, if you want to go look at the the website is down below and in the chat, Jolly Holiday Yarns. And you can save $10 with Spoonie 10 in her shop. Beautiful hand-dyed yarn advent calendar with a fun little story. So, yeah. And then Twice Sheared Sheep is doing their mystery grab bags. So you get a beautiful skein of yarn, something like this, and then a whole bunch of little things like stitch markers, row counters, and little gadgets and stuff. So, lots of fun. Drive safe. Oh, okay. Is there anything else I was supposed to talk about? Probably. This week is going to be crazy, but we're working on it. Oh, well, do y'all want to see a sneak peek of something that I designed that probably I will talk about next week? Who wants to see a sneak peek? Let me know. I'm going to talk about Decade Divas tomorrow. I'm going to put it in the video. There's a lot to say, so. We've had some changes. Pretty drastic ones. So, okay. So, Wednesday Season 2 is coming. The first part is coming August 6th. So, I made Enid in her little school uniform at Nevermore Academy. I know her hair is supposed to be pink and blue. I haven't gotten my fabric markers out yet to dye her hair, but. So she's not quite finished, but I don't know if you can see the stripes on her jacket. I changed color every single stitch. So, yep. And now I'm working on Wednesday. She will be in her black and gray uniform. I need like a little pedestal where I can just set these things up while I'm talking, but yep. So I made her to celebrate Wednesday Season 2. And I will make Wednesday as well. And I know a lot of you have asked for a Wednesday tot. A lot of you. So, hey, Micah. Yeah. Let's see. Did I cover everything that I was supposed to cover? For now, anyway. Yeah, we had some people drop out of Decade Divas, so there have been some changes to the schedule. So it's going to be really important that everybody reads their email this week. Like, extremely important that you read your email this week because your date might have changed. I'm going to try really hard not to schedule anybody earlier than they need to be, but this is why we told you to all be ready by September no matter what your date was. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, we've had some people who just dropped out just because they don't have enough time. 6 months isn't enough time. Okay. Teresa and I will be doing our another film to one moment. I just got a message from Teresa. Make sure it's not. What is this? You should get something like this to display your tots. What is this? Oh, that's so cute. I think it's for candles. So maybe that's a cute idea. I'll think about it. Thank you. Okay. What was I saying? Right. So some of the schedules have changed. And Heather, you were such a sport, willing to change dates. Thank you. Other people I tried to contact and they just aren't getting back to me. So it's like, all right, well, you're going to get a rude awakening when you get your email that your date has changed. Tried to warn you. So, yeah, that's what's going on. I'm just dealing with the whole, everything's happened this morning. I get 3 emails from companies and I need to handle 2 channels worth of stuff. And oh yeah, I need to do my collaboration with Dream It DIY, which I have half of the, well, not more than half. I just have to sew pieces of the first one. But I got to watch a bunch of ear videos and stuff. Obviously, her tutorials. Because I've never made ears. I don't know what I'm doing. So, yeah. And you're asking yourself, then why on earth did you decide to do this? Because we have to do different crafts. We can't do any of the same crafts. Like, obviously, we can do the same crafts, but you can only do like 1 crochet, 1 bead, 1 baking, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I decided to do ears because 1, I got a ton of felt in that bucket up there that you don't see that needs to be used. And 2, she makes ears, so I felt it was appropriate that I make ears. I need 15 months heads up. Heather. So that's what I decided to do, was make a set of Mickey ears. I made I don't know if I have a picture of it. I think I do. I made my Maleficent headband last year for my villain birthday, which was a lot of fun. If you guys didn't see that vlog, that was a lot of fun. I need to change the thumbnail for that one, I think. Now that I have Canva, I can actually do stuff. Yeah, I did a Disney villain themed birthday, and my friends came dressed up as different Disney villains, and I was Maleficent. But we did it like, you know how in Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, they have the cozy princesses. Well, we did the cozy villains. So we did it pajama lounge style, what villains might wear. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I have pictures. I don't know why I wouldn't. But yeah, so I ordered a headband to make my Maleficent horns. But I tried to make it look like a spa headband. So let's see. So one of my friends was Cruella, crazy dog lady. And one of my friends was Prince John from Robin Hood. And then I was Maleficent. Let's see. I know there's a picture of me somewhere. I was taking a lot of the pictures, so, you know, I wasn't in as many, but there I am. So see, I made my horns with my bow pattern, and then I put it on top of a headband, like a spa headband. So, but yes, I made all of that. I made the bow, I made the horns. The only thing I didn't make was the headband base. I could have, but I'd rather just spend the $3 and get a reliable headband that I could sew onto. So yeah, and that was my little tree. And I had an off-the-shoulder with cutouts shirt and some purple and black buffalo plaid pants. Oh, there we go. Okay. Ah, come on. There. And I have a stuffed raven. So that's what I did last year. And so I figured I could do something like that, ear-wise. For the forgotten characters. Obviously, it's not Maleficent because nobody's forgotten about Maleficent. But that's the kind of feeling, I guess, I was going for. So anyway, that'll be next Saturday. So that'll be Saturday, August 16th. And then the Granny Square Challenge will be the 15th, Granny Square Day. My plan was to make a really cool Granny Square for that day, but there's too much going on. So I decided I'll just do the challenge again. Teresa and I actually did that live for our reindeer games, which was hilarious because neither of us could see, but you could hear us. And y'all got to watch us make blindfolded Granny Squares live. If you haven't seen that, go to the lives on either of our channels, and it was a funny live. We did a bunch of yarny challenges, and we made a blindfolded Granny Square. Who could make the most amount of chains in a minute? Who could finish a Granny Square the fastest? Who could make a magic ring the fastest? Who could make a sampler the fastest? Yeah, all of that. So that was fun. Okay, I think we're going to end it here. Thank you so much for being here today. Remember to check out Jolly Holiday Yarns and Twice Sheared Sheep and OPhire and all those other ones. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. I don't know if I will be live tonight. Probably not. I think I'll be exhausted. So, but keep looking for my late night lives, and we will just keep creating little boops for my secret project. Can't wait to tell you guys what that is. Remember, life happens. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too.